Shall we tell the postal rat about my basement findings? When we're like old pals now, me and the postal rat. Try a shift at the dead letter office. There is a sign of a cancelled stamp over the door. Extensive tour. Blunt Thomas takes you around the office, a small collection of rooms where those retrieving letters may state their business. A much larger set of back offices, where newly arrived letters and parcels are collected and sorted. A dank, briny smell that never goes away, presumably because there are so many of the parcels spent time in the water before they arrived here. In the back room, a machine manned, ratted, by a postal rat, a Rattus Faber in a pin-striped hat. It shovels sludge-damp letters into the machine's hopper, and they come out dried, cleaned, pressed, and sorted into slots by size and quality of paper. An occurrence. Our quality is now working shifts, look. Converse with the postal rat. How did he get into this line of work? Feed your undeliverable letters into the sorting machine. Let's give it a go. The gleaming hopper awaits. 52 categories. After prolonged whirring, the machine begins to distribute 7 invitations, edged in gilt, into the correspondence of the aristocracy slot. 2 oversized parcels, probably containing books, into the books tray. 1 stamped bronze tablet that drops with a clang into a bin marked First City. The postal rat watches all of this with an air of satisfaction. Wow, good. We've gained cultivating friendships and stuff. We've lost our dead post. Should we converse with the postal rat? Ask the postal rat for a key to the basement. You've worked here long enough now. All right, fine. Let's talk to the postal rat first. We'll strike up conversation. We'll get to know him. We'll establish his trust, and then we'll ask for a key to the basement after having worked here for 5 minutes. I think that's perfectly reasonable. On the islanders. Do you like having sticky hands? Asked the postal rat. Most people, they have sticky hands. They can't wait to clean them. Yeah. For a postman, an undeliverable parcel is sticky hands. Bothers you until it's fixed. The longer you serve in the post office, the worse it feels. Delivering a letter correctly is good, so not delivering it is bad. The unclean feeling gets too strong, and then they come here. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good at all. But now that we're friends, old Raz Faber, you. Can we have a key to the basement? We've worked here long enough now, right? No trouble at all. He's surprised by the request. Most postmen don't like it down there. No one ever asks for a key. But he'll cut you a new one. Just be careful in there and come out if you start to feel wrong. Okay. Open the back rooms. The key is warm in your pocket. In we go! Deep and deeper. You had expected a few shelves of supplies, more files of letters, a few years older? No, it is a pit, so deep that lantern light does not show the bottom. A spiral walkway descends along its wall, and that spiral opens wider as it goes, as if you were looking through the narrow end of a very large shell. Lining this wall are shelves and nooks, unevenly sized. Some are a few inches square and contain single scrolls of papyrus. Others support crates bigger than coffins. They're made of a woody fungus, grown to meet requirements. There are no marks of carpentry or any of the postal rat's handiwork. 3 turns down the spiral, you feel you can't breathe. Time to leave. You can come back later. Maybe. Maybe. What a disturbing place to come across. Fine, we're going to leave. We're definitely going to leave. Shall we tell the postal rat about my basement findings? When we're like old pals now, me and the postal rat, let's have a chat. It gives you something new to chat about. Troubled, but not surprised. They say it's been there since before we came. Before there were Londoners in the Neath. Before there was a dead letters office. There was someone else. And they built the last layer on top of what was there before. And so on. When you press him a little further, he says, I've been down there. Didn't like it much. But I wanted to test my machine. Thought if I could handle some of the very old dead letters, that would be a good sign, you know? Evidence the machine is in good working order. Good, strong sorting categories and so forth. He pauses. There's letters down there that set your hair on fire if you so much as look at them. See the ball patch on my left leg? That wasn't a machine accident. Oh no. That singed right off as soon as I put my nose into one of them letters. Wow. I've gained a new tale of terror. We have an extraordinary implication and an occurrence. Well, that all sounds fascinating. Descend into the basement with mirrors. Arrange contraptions, divert light, illuminate what has been dark for a long time. A 30% chance of success. That's not an unreasonable chance of success. I mean, 1 in 3? As a scientist, I'm so fascinated by this place. Obviously, we could come back in the future. We could come back once our mirrors' quality has kind of improved. Where is our mirrors? Mirrors, I mean, we've already got a mirrors at 50. Like, that's pretty high. That's a lot higher than any of our other stats. Can we increase our mirrors any more if we go to our officers? Hearts and veils, we cannot. We cannot. It is a high-risk challenge, though. I'm going to do it! We're going to do it! We've really pushed our luck heading into the north. We've got only 3 crew left, and frankly, we can't afford to lose any. We've only got 3 supplies left, and frankly, we can't afford to lose any. But I'm so fascinated. I want to know what's in there. We're going to descend into the basement with mirrors. Spiral on glittering spiral. The descent is long and slow. You count the turns at first, but the time comes when you can't see the square of light from the door above, and can't mark how far you have come around the spiral. The illumination you have contrived gets dimmer the further you go, until you come at last to a floor whose base you can barely see. The floor is carpeted with... At first you think it's gravel, but no. It is broken shards of clay and stone, all scribbled over in words too old to read. At the centre of this space is a needle of deep black rock, glossy as resin, glittering with ice, inscribed with 3 arcane sigils that hurt to look at. You feel a meaning in their presence, a prohibition or a commandment, that all things must come to their destined place, that what cannot be delivered immediately must be saved against a future date, that a message that goes unheard is a tragedy. That signal must be carried, no matter how far, no matter through what darkness, no matter whether the sender still lives, nor whether the recipient can even read the language of the writing. The inscription resolves itself and is known to you. No word lost. An occurrence. We have learned in the postal secrets. Visitor to the center stone. We've gained 5 terror. We are now haunted. We have succeeded in a mirror's challenge. And we have 1 searing enigma. Oh, a searing enigma! Oh, that's fantastic. That is the best. I'm so glad. Uh-oh, we're not even out of this yet. Climbing out. The climb out is slow and takes a long time. Could you possibly have come down this far? Surely not. Your breath grows ragged and your legs cramp. Ascend. There is no way out but up. Sit down a moment. The rest of the spiral will be there after you've got your breath. I dare not stop. There is no way out but up. We must ascend. At the surface, the dead letter office is still here. its machines still working, its baskets still filling with missed invitations and misplaced wills. Shouldn't it have been blasted away, destroyed by the force of what lies beneath? Shift work in the dead letters office. Tell the postal rat what you saw below. Maybe he will be curious. Come on, old mate, let's have another chat. I mean, I know I've literally just arrived here, like, today, with, like, no fuel, no food, no supplies, a ship which is falling apart, and a crew which you can count on one hand with fingers to spare, and come to work for you, but I've totally discovered something that you have never even contemplated, I suspect. I know what's down there, in the hole. Without name. You start to explain, but your language doesn't have the right words to express it. The weight of the delivery commandment, the sacred necessity for every word to reach its destination, and the countless individual miscarriages of meaning from one entity to another which have occurred throughout history, and are still occurring, to the detriment of the whole universe. He holds a paw up. Not going to understand it no matter how much you explain, he says, and I'm glad. As if I did understand, I'd be likely to run mad, working where and as I do. After a moment, he adds, likely you'll forget. At least, forget some of it. After all, you never wore the uniform. Then he points out where your hair has singed at the temples and gives you an ointment he keeps in a drawer. Thank you, postal rat. That's very kind of you. Apparently I kind of went a little bit far, a little bit too deep, and we've got some tales of terror to take. Not to mention a searing enigma. Fine, I think we've had enough here. It's time that we end our shift and leave. Shall we make a study of what goes on in the back room? Yeah, we're not going to do that. End your shift. Return to the docks. You are finished here. For now. We still need to successfully make it back to London, repair our crew, repair our ship, hire some more crew, generally recover some of our utter terror that we're currently experiencing. Maybe even write some part of our journal, our mysterious journal that we have yet to even begin. Explore along the beach. We've done this already, haven't we? Watch the tide come in. Even water obeys the fiery words. Let's do it. Let's watch it. The Pull. There's a new day's wash of post. Some of it recently mailed, and some has been in the water for a very long time. If it cannot be delivered, then at least it can be categorized and archived against the day when a recipient arrives, even if it seems that no recipient will ever come, because one can never be quite certain. The tide carries in a fish larger than you. Stranding it ashore, it opens its jaws and coughs out a parcel in brown paper. 1 pair bespoke gentleman's avid gloves, special delivery. Teeth freshly sharpened, compliments of the tailor. The next wave pulls the fish back out to sea. We've gained 50 fragments. We've gained an outlandish artifact. Wow, okay. We can take that back to the museum in London. They'll like that. An occurrence. We're now at peace with the post. That's good. And we've lost 5 terror. Oh, I feel better. I'm glad we came for this walk along the beach. I'm really glad. I feel like a bit of a weight has been let off. It's good. This is the universe seeking to preserve the order that is created within it. It's quite spiritual in a sense, in a scientific way, in a metaphysically scientific way, obviously, not an explainable scientific way. But as a scientist and monster hunter, I'm quite at home with metaphysics. Collect material. We don't need to collect material. Let's just leave. I don't think we need to do anything more. Let's just leave. All right, crew. We've had a nice rest here. We've managed to acquire some supplies. The ship's still in a right state, and there's still only a few of you. And we've got to get all the way back to Fallen London before we can really consider ourselves even vaguely safe. How far is Fallen London now? Look, we're not far from known lands, Station 3 and other things. If we kind of like just head due west and then south a little bit, maybe we could pick up another island along the way. Let's do it. Here we go. The Chipping Norton, the epic quest to return from Phosphorlan. We have experienced many strange things, many grave terrors. Some of the crew have been turned to statues. Others have been slain in terrible ways. But nonetheless, we shall press on. We nearly burnt out our engines as well, to be fair, but fortunately we were able to just about repair them in the nick of time. Wow. And we've discovered the postal island. I mean, the secret of the universe commanding lost letters to be delivered, or at the very least, to be sorted, categorized, and organized, and archived against the passage of time. What kind of adventurer, explorers would I be if I shied away from epic encounters? We're gonna do it! This could well be the end! Look how enraged Anna has got. She's got her angry face on, and she's also gone a kind of brightish shade of pinkish red. Charles is also looking extremely determined right there. You start the hunt, and soon you find out what the shadow was. A Titan ape! What a magnificent and rare creature! The crew disrupts his meal, and he is not pleased about it. He quickly leaps towards Anna to deal the first blow.